When the war began, I, Yair Pinto, for those of you who don't know me, deployed with my tank unit to Lebanon, while my brothers in arms took their positions on other fronts. A few weeks later, we moved down to the Gaza Strip, pushing forward with our tanks. And then, as the war raged on, my friends in the IDF advanced as far as Syria. Every battlefield, we were there, our tanks leading the way. And today, we are taking you to the place where these warriors are made and where I was trained for many years to become a tank platoon commander, the Shezafon Armored Corps Training Base. This is where tank commanders, gunners, loaders, and drivers are forged in fire, where soldiers transform into elite armored warriors ready to take on any enemy, anywhere. This is Shezafon. But before we dive deeper, like, share, and subscribe. Be part of Israel's story as it unfolds. Good morning, everybody. It's a bit early here in Israel, around 6 a.m., starting the morning with some coffee, reading the Bible. Make sure you start the day by saying thank you to God for everything that He's doing for your life. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is the one and only Gitai back from Thailand. We have with us guys from the IDF. Anna, how are you doing? Good. So we're on our way to visit the training base of the IDF's tank units. Stay tuned. So we've been driving already for like, what, 2.5 hours from Jerusalem to the south of Israel. And we arrived at one of the nicest areas in this land, in my opinion, which is the middle of the desert. This is a huge crater, and it's called the Machtesh Ramon, okay? We're gonna drive through it, and then we're gonna reach the tank headquarter base of the IDF. We're gonna take part in a simulator of a tank, and then we're gonna see a live fire exercise of tank units there. So I'm very excited because I grew up in this base. I mean, I was there as a young recruit when I was young and handsome. When I was 18 years old. And I spent around, I would say, maybe 2.5 years of my military service there, where I did my boot camp, advanced training, commanders training, tank platoon commanders training, and the final was the officer course. And then I went back there to train some young recruits on how to operate the tanks and fight in the tank units before completing my mandatory service and then joining the reserve units of the IDF, in which I'm still part of. You know, when the pilots are flying in the air, we look and we say, wow, look at these fighter pilots. And they, when they are in the air, they say, oh, look at these tank commanders. So guys, we just arrived into the Shezafon base. You know, pretty emotional to get back here. I wonder if the food is better than what I remembered it. But this is the IDF, it's an army, you know, things don't change fast. It looks exactly the same. It's crazy. It's really crazy. Shezafon is out here in the heart of the Negev desert, where the land is harsh and unforgiving. It was built after Israel's wars with Egypt, when it became clear that tanks weren't just machines of war, they were the key to survival in this area. In 1967, Israeli tanks crushed enemy forces in the Six-Day War, providing that speed, precision, and firepower that could change the course of history. But then came 1973, the Yom Kippur War, where Israeli forces were nearly overwhelmed. Our tanks faced wave after wave of Egyptian and Syrian armor ambushes from advanced missiles and brutal desert combat. The lesson? We needed to train better, harder, and smarter. Before its construction, armored corps training was spread across different bases, recognizing the need for a centralized, state-of-the-art training center. The IDF built Shezafon in the early 90s to bring all elements of tank warfare under one roof. Over the years, it has grown into a cutting-edge facility, incorporating live-fire exercises, simulators, and real-world battle scenario training to prepare soldiers for the intense realities of this war. Every IDF tank commander, gunner, loader, and driver passes through here, mastering the art of armored warfare in one of the toughest training programs in this world. But before we see how these warriors are made, please like, share, and subscribe. Be part of Israel's journey and witness the strength of those who defend it. So we arrived at the most advanced tank simulator in Shezafon. This is the headquarters of the IDF's Tanks Corps. And this is the tank simulator.
So here we have the simulator of Shirion, of the tanks. Here we actually have all the positions of the tank inside of the simulator. It's the strongest simulator in the ground force.
Looks pretty new.
Yeah, it's really new. We just started 2 months ago. Just right now bringing it into the soldiers and practicing how to do the different positions inside the simulator instead of going down to the fields.
So what positions do we have inside the tank?
Into the tank, we have the gunner, who he shoots all the ammunition. We have the loader, he loads everything. We have the commander and the driver.
Okay, I was a tank platoon commander. Can you guess what position I started in?
What position?
Oh, guess. You know the difference between the people.
The loader.
No, but thanks for saying that. It means I'm stronger than what I was. I was the gunner.
Okay.
The gunner is the smartest guy,
yeah.
The loader is the strongest guy, and the driver goes to sleep, right? And this is a lot more advanced than what I had 20 years ago. So the purpose of this is to train the entire tank unit as one unit, as a team. And by doing it with this simulator, you save money on the tank's maintenance, on gear, on firepower, and you can use the actual time on the tank more efficiently.
In the simulator, they can change the terrain to make a bunch of different grounds so that we don't have to actually drive to the desert or to the north. They can practice whatever they need, and it saves a lot of time and money.
So who's training them in the simulators?
So we actually have instructors who work from the morning to the night, and they train the soldiers the whole day.
So female instructors are training the fighters how to fight these tanks?
Exactly.
As part of your training, do you also go on tanks and fire and drive and everything?
We do. In the 3-month course, we go inside the tank, the drivers will drive, the loaders load, the shooters shoot.
So we're about to start training for the drivers of the tank. This is an advanced simulator. Everything's gonna move around here. Looks exactly like a real, tank. I'm ready. You need to close? אני מוכן. It's gonna be shaky, so we're gonna push this here. 1, 2, שומעת אותי? Hey. What's your name? Ronnie. Okay, Ronnie. Ronnie is gonna do a simulator for me, and she will instruct me like a commander instructs the drivers of the tanks. I already started to see all the visuals in front of me. Let me show it to you guys. 1 second. You see? Press the red button. This red button. Okay, I'm pressing the button. 9 seconds to go. Whoa! You can definitely feel it. כן. Vaya. Whoa! Okay. The tank fighters We have a thing with cleaning the shoes, making sure they're always shining black. So this is how you do it. Guys, I want to show you something that you can only see here in the Shezafon area because of tens of years of tanks running over these grounds, this sand. Look what it becomes. It's like powder. So, about to go to the tanks now, the real ones. Check it out, guys. From the streets of Gaza to the hills of Lebanon, the Merkava has been more than just a machine. It's been the backbone of this war. With its advanced armor, its lethal firepower, its unmatched mobility, and its technological superiority, the Merkava has crushed terrorist strongholds, cleared tunnels, and kept enemy rocket squads at bay. So I'm here with Staff Sergeant M from the 401st Armored Corps Division of the IDF.
Nice to meet you.
What's this machine behind us?
So, behind you is the Merkava Mark IV. It's the latest tank that the IDF has to offer. It's been in service for almost 20 years and a half, so about 25. Overall, this tank has been an absolute game changer for the IDF. It's a wonderful machine, without a doubt. So it is a key component on the battlefield. It is capable of doing multiple different tasks, including medical evacuation and, of course, fighting, along with armored personnel carrying. Indeed, it is a very awesome tank. So, of course, like most tanks, it is divided to the turret, which is what we see up above, which is connected to the cannon, and, of course, the tube itself. Inside the tube, on the front, unlike most tanks, is the engine. It sits there with a massive amount of horsepower, almost 3,200 horsepower. It is capable of taking the tank to around 62 kilometers per hour, and it is without a doubt a very formidable and loud machine.
Can we go inside?
Of course.
Yeah.
So the cannon itself is a 120mm smoothbore cannon, capable of shooting multiple different types and variations of ammunition, all the way from anti-tank to anti-personnel. We see in front of us the back exit. Most tanks will not have that because, of course, they will have the engine block in the back. The reason this one exists is, as I have said before, so that the tank can also operate for armored personnel carrying and medical evacuation. That is the main purpose it serves, along with allowing the tank crew to exit safely without being open for sniper rifles.
Going in. The tank has the driver, the gunner, the loader, and the commander.
Correct.
Where do they sit?
So, the driver sits right in front of me in this little hole in the hull. In theory, the job is very simple. In truth, it is arguably the most skill-requiring job inside the tank. More or less where I am standing right now, and slightly behind me, is where the loader is. He usually spends his time standing up. His job is, of course, to take care of both machine guns. Right next to you, right over here, is where the gunner sits. And, of course, right behind you is where the commander sits, or most of the time stands.
What's the firepower that this tank has?
Insane. In the most honest way possible, it is absolutely phenomenal.
Like how much guns?
So it usually harbors 2 FN mags, 7.262mm. One is a coaxial, another one right here for the commander.
Yeah.
And right on top of the cannon sits an 50 cal, which is connected directly to the gunner, and he can shoot it at the same time as when he shoots the coaxial, and thus he can double, if not triple, the firepower at once. So imagine sitting in front of this tank as it charges at you at 60 kilometers per hour, shooting 3 different types of secondary guns and its cannon right at you.
Oh, wow.
I wouldn't want to be there.
Yeah, definitely. This is some serious machinery. It's definitely a game changer in the battlefield. These tanks have the best armor and enormous amount of firepower. They can drive on every terrain and really make a difference. You guys, you see behind me all these new trainees. These are rookies in the IDF, and their commander is giving them time to do tasks. Let's go. At Shezafon, recruits endure some of the toughest training in the IDF. They learn to maneuver the Merkava tank over brutal terrain, to operate as a single, unstoppable unit. They drill, they push, they fight until they are ready to step onto the battlefield and change the course of this war. After everything that we've seen here at Shezafon, one thing is clear: Israel's strength is not just in its weapons, but in its warriors. From the battlefields of the Gaza Strip to the northern border with Lebanon, the Merkava tank has led the fight, protecting Israel when it needed it the most. But the tank is only as strong as the people inside it. And here, in the heart of the Negev desert, the next generation of armored warriors is being forged, ready to defend their homeland. In every challenge, in every war, Israel rises because behind every machine, behind every strategy, stands the unbreakable spirit of its people. This is the strength of Israel, a country protected and beloved by God, now and forever.
Hello, this is Mati here in Jerusalem with TBN Israel.
This is Yair Pinto from TBN Israel here in Jerusalem. TBN Israel is keeping viewers informed with Israel-focused news, culture, and what God is doing in this land.
Support TBN Israel today online at tbn.org/Israel. Thank you.